We're back on the RoughRiders pregame show, sitting down with RoughRiders right-hand pitcher Matt West. Matt, appreciate the time. Wanted to talk about last night's game. You came in the eighth inning, and it was a tie game, 5-5, and you gave up 2 hits. That's certainly not a lot, but in a tie game, when you allowed those hits, what did you do to stay calm and keep your composure on the mound?
Well, late in the game, if you get a runner on early in the inning, you have to, really focus on controlling the running game because you want to keep them there at second. So just varying looks, my holds, trying to be quick to the plate while staying, being able to still continue to throw strikes. I think that's very important to keep them there at first base.
That eighth inning, you picked up a big double play to get out of the inning. How big was it to induce that double play?
Double plays are always good because it reduces the amount of pitches you throw, which is a reliever's best friend. But no, just double play. It's to end the inning. It's definitely to picks up the momentum going in for the hitters, gets them back in the dugout.
And then in the ninth inning, you had a guy named Travis Jankowski on the base for San Antonio, and he's a base stealing specialist. He stole 71 bases with his high A club last year. When you have a guy who's that good at stealing bases on the bases when you're pitching, how much does that weigh on your mind, and how much does that distract you when you're trying to pitch?
Not at all, because I tend to do the same thing. Unless you're just a big guy, I know you're not going to steal, but I didn't know who he was. I just figured he was fast since he got an infield single. But, no, like I said, just varying your looks, just being quick to the plate, allowing you to control the running game, keep them there at first.
Rate your stuff last night. Were you happy with your performance?
It was good. Yes, yesterday, of course I'm always happy to get out of there, but, I didn't feel as great as I had previous in the year, but being able to still get outs is a good thing.
Changeup and curve are your secondary pitches, if I'm not mistaken. Are you happy with where they are at this point in the season?
Yeah, I am. The thing about what I like about having, because relievers usually 2-pitch guys, I like having that third pitch because from a day-to-day basis, one of those is most likely going to work, so you have something to go to or fall back on.
You haven't allowed a run in 9 2/3 innings pitched this season. Do you feel like you've returned to form after Tommy John surgery back in 2012?
Well, hopefully you didn't just jinx that, but no, yeah, I feel like I'm healthy. My arm's getting back in shape, post Tommy John, so it's good.
Is it refreshing just to be on the mound and have this really behind you?
Yeah, of course. That's a grind, but thanks to our medical staff and our rehab coordinators. They know what they're doing, and I'm just glad, get back on the field and compete.
We're with RoughRiders reliever Matt West on the RoughRiders pregame show, and Matt, you're doing a great job keeping an even keel through this interview, but you're an expressive player on the mound. Specifically, I've noticed a couple of strikeouts to end the innings. You're always going to pound the fist into the glove, celebrate a big out, and things like that. Is that just how you are as a player? Have you always been a passionate guy when you're on the field?
Yeah, I'm usually, nonchalant, and then when I compete, I see red, and I just kind of chant. I think it's the rubber, because when I hit, it wasn't like that. The rubber just kind of changes me.
You think you're seeing a little bit more red this season now that you're staying healthy and pitching well after going through a lot over not just last season, but the past few seasons as far as getting back to full strength?
Not so much. It's honestly anything I compete in, whether it's just a game of Monopoly. It's just how I am. When I love to compete, and that's what I thrive to do. So.
You mentioned that you haven't been a pitcher your entire career. You converted from a position player while you were with the Rangers. Do you think you've caught up to other guys on the team that have been pitching for their entire career?
Pitching is definitely where I feel like what I was supposed to do. And the thing is with hitting is the struggles that I had there, you learn how to overcome, the downs and ups of a season, and knowing how actually hard it is to hit is something that I feel a lot of pitchers don't really understand. And just knowing how hard it is to actually hit a baseball. I mean, people get out on pop-up BP baseballs at 5 o'clock every day. So knowing you throw 90 plus miles an hour, it's one of the hardest things to do in any sport. So if not the hardest. So I think it's definitely helped me in the transition to becoming a pitcher.
Before the 2011 season, when you did make the conversion to becoming a pitcher, how were you approached by the Rangers, and how did that conversation go when they initially asked you, we want to move you to the mound?
I mean, it was kind of like, you go into the spring training and it's kind of, your time's up. And I got that feeling. And then one day they were like, it's either you're going to get released or you can try pitching. So I came out, 7 o'clock the next morning and threw a bullpen, and it went well. I shook my hand and said, hey, congratulations, you're a pitcher, and just taking it from there.
What did it really take for you to buy in to that conversion process, or was it simply, this is what I have to do if I want to make this roster?
I mean, I think it just kind of changed my whole mindset when they told me, because I pitched growing up, and it's fun. It fits my personality. You're controlling the tempo of the game. They say it's just my personality. It suits it so well. Defense or hitting, you're on offense, but you're actually waiting for a ball to be thrown. So it's like a defensive situation, and then defensively you're waiting for a ground ball to be hit. And just being a pitcher and controlling the tempo of the game, being the one who starts the play, makes the pitch. It just kind of I love it.
You're still on the 40-man roster for Texas, well-deserved, of course, but you haven't pitched a full season since 2011, and that season you began the year in extended spring training. When you see the Rangers sticking by you like this, really through thick and thin, what does that do for your confidence?
I mean, whether or not I was on the 40-man or not, my confidence would still be there. It's good to see an organization, though, back you through your ups and downs. It definitely, I mean, I just think it's awesome. That's kind of all I can say about that.
The RoughRiders have taken the first 2 games off their series against the San Antonio Missions, and we're sitting with the winning pitcher last night for the RoughRiders, Matt West. And as we wrap things up with you, Matt, last question is the hardest, and it's about the hair. You had a mop for the last few years, decided to shave it, I believe, going into this season. What went into that decision?
It was just, I guess the word for it was getting a little unprofessional. I guess if I had had 10 years in the big leagues, and I could have it down to my back. But no, it was getting a little bit too rowdy, and it's about to be 100 plus, so it'll feel good with the new haircut.
But you got to be used to that. You're a Houston native. I mean, the heat couldn't have been that big of a deal with the long hair.
True, but I haven't been in Houston for the past 2 years since I've been rehabbing, so I kind of forgot about how that heat was. But no, it'll be good.
Shooting the Breeze with Matt West on the RoughRiders pregame show. Matt, thank you very much for the time. Good luck the rest of the way. We're certainly hoping you stay healthy. We'll be back after this on the RoughRiders Baseball Network.